Kerry, I want to talk to you or ask you about connection with nature. My view is that a lot of people have lost that connection with nature, even farmers who are essentially, well, not working with, a lot of them,
Yes.
working against, but working in nature. That's their office. Can you give us your angle on, or how you would suggest others reconnect with nature?
Well, I mean, there's lots of farmers that are sitting there living in the mental mind, in that reactive mind with the to-do lists. It looks like the Dead Sea Scrolls. Or my friend says the to-do list of things that don't need to get done. But the point is that if you stay present when you're in nature, you're shown what's the next right thing to do. So you're free of that tyrant of the to-do list dictating what's going to happen in the day. And you know, when you have a to-do list and you have a plan, you're actually rejecting the intuitive plan and the natural unfolding and the magic and the miracles that happen by following the intuition.
What do you do? What's your what are some of your practices?
I start off my day at least 20 minutes of meditation in the morning. And when I say, I will do counting backwards where I focus on a number for the first piece of it, just to calm down the subconscious mind, get the to-do list sublimated. And then I will sit in present awareness. I use my hands as a focal point. I relax them on my lap, and I become aware of the fingertips touching and the warmth and energy and the pulse. And I'm aware from the center of my forehead, like the cockpit of my mind, I start becoming aware of the noises of that crow, of the breeze, of the chickadees, the hummingbirds that come by, just being very present. And every time I find myself getting caught up in a thought or a to-do list or a feeling, I just bring my awareness back to present time. Because there is no past and there is no future. We only have the now. And you have the ability to tap into an infinite wisdom that is so much greater than your little pea brain, your little computer pea brain, the to-do list. So I spend my day being present and executing what's the right next thing to do, and then finding myself getting caught up in my head, and then just shifting back to the birds, to the cooler, to the sound of the people working and the butterflies flying above us. And in being in that present place is where all of your answers will come. Thank God.
And talking about to-do lists, I love the idea of people having beside their desk or in their mind their not to-do list. Do not do list.
Oh yeah.
Stop doing this.
Yes.
Stop doing that.
Well, I say there's two things when people have conflict, and it comes down to two. You know you're going against your intuition. You're doing things that you know you shouldn't be doing. And you know the intuition is showing you to do certain things that you're not doing. So just clear those up. Start with that. And don't worry about anything else. Just start with that simple thing. If you're shown that you're supposed to meditate every morning, just do it. Even if it means you keep trying. Meditation is effective no matter how much time you've spent in your head or in the reactive mind. 1 second, 1 nanosecond is effective, believe it or not. It's very powerful.
And Kerry, any advice you would give to farmers about reconnecting with nature on their farms? Are there some practices you might suggest? You know, because as I said, you know, I know plenty of farmers who their farm and nature is their place of work. However, you know, I'd suggest their connection and their relationship with that landscape and nature is pretty ordinary. You know, is there how do you connect with your land apart from, you know, meditation and getting in the right frame of mind?
Well, I mean, as you're walking through your life, you can either be mindful or be in your head. So as I'm weeding, or as I'm walking through the field, or as I'm executing the things that I'm shown to do that day, whether it be the paperwork or the buying of the seeds, I am feeling my feet on the ground. I'm aware of how deep I'm breathing, or how shallow I'm breathing, and we can't do it all the time, but we certainly can make the effort to shift out of that mental mind and to be present and let the process take hold. And that's why it's great to be out in nature, because that many times I've been indoors and I'm conflicted and I walk out the door and those spirits are gone, whatever they were, of doubt or of anxiety, or because we're supposed to be in nature. We are nature, we are of
We
the
are
earth.
part of it, aren't we?
Yeah, and we're the only species that has the choice to enjoy it.
And what about the concept of working with and working against nature?
It's very true. I mean, there is a way of dealing with the soil and the plants where you are in congruity, where it's a flow, where it's a natural cycle. And I think all farmers eventually come to that. Many of the farmers, I have friends who have 4 and 5 brothers that are at young ages getting ALS and Parkinson's and diseases from the herbicides and the chemicals. And so we can't go against nature. You can't, radiate your whole field with pesticides or herbicides and expect anything to flourish or anything good to come out of it. And those lessons are clear for us if we're open to them.
I mean, even the name herbicide, pesticide, it's death, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Well,
the thing is, we thrive, our gut is filled with probiotic microorganisms and negative pathogens. And so we are eating plants so that we can make available to our body the elements in the soil that are healing for us. So when the soil is healthy, we become healthy.
And there's also something to be said with tapping into the intelligence of plants. I know,
Absolutely.
I feel.
Absolutely.
And I know, and I've got a few stories about it, that the plants have the ability to produce the nutrients that an individual needs.
Correct.
And the message for that is, as I've heard, toxins, but stories of people, and I set something up at home to do the same thing, washing your feet in the morning, because your toxins come out of your feet in the morning, and watering your plants with those toxins, and the intelligence of the plants pick that up and they grow in themselves the nutrients and accumulate the nutrients you need to right the wrong or the disease.
Right. And even at an elemental level, you watch what you're craving. I know when I'm craving sugar or carbs, I haven't gotten enough fat in my diet. So I'll go for avocados or an olive oil-based salad or olives, because there's a satiation that comes from eating properly. And when you're craving sautéed greens, that's what you go for, like I have green garlic right now, young, tender garlic, and I crave it right now, so I go with it. And it's probably been the reason that I haven't been as sick as most people when getting, the flu or whatever. Here come the young farmers now.
The team. Kerry, I think...
It's time.
Well, I wish it wasn't. And I've so enjoyed our time, and I think there's so much more we can talk about, and I know we will. And we've already touched on some scheming and conniving and planning that we can do, so I'm really excited about that. Thank you again, Kerry. Intuitive Forager. Check her out on Instagram. Facebook is The Farm at Malibu, and your own Instagram.
Kerry Clasby, yeah.
Yeah.
No, my own. I don't have an Instagram under Kerry Clasby, just Facebook.
Facebook.
But my motto is, eat right and you'll feel right. And when we do the right thing, everything works out.
100%. Thank you. It's been an
Thank you,
honour.
Charlie.
And
Carry
you
on.
too, Jack. You're the man. Oh, wonderful. Thanks, guys.